Hello, I am Andrew Nolan, one of the team members here at the Brain Mind Institute. First off, I would like to start by introducing our founder, Dr. Juyang Weng. A former computer science professor at Michigan State University, Dr. Weng is a leader in both the fields of neuroscience and computer science and intersects the two fields of study in his research. He's a Life Fellow of the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, or IEEE. He is the founder of Pop AI Magazine, was a guest editor for the International Journal of Humanoid Robotics, and is an associate editor of the IEEE Autonomous Mental Development newsletter. Dr. Wang is also both the president and founder of the Brain Mind Institute and Genisama. Um, and as the leading force against post-selection misconduct, Dr. Wang has organized this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity as a way to combat the unethical practice. Dr. Wang will now take over for about 5 minutes and tell us more about the Conscious Learning Summer School.
Thank you very much, Andrew, for your introduction. Let me share the screen. All right, thank you. This is a Q&A session of the 2026 Conscious Learning Summer School. And it's not a summer school itself, but rather the question and answer session. Mainly the purpose is to answer some of the potential participants who might have questions. Consciousness is a very, very important question, but has been overlooked by the entire field. And here I show a diagram where the people that really govern the intelligence is humongous. Over here, you see the humongous there, and that humongous is a human programmer. In this particular example, that he's looking at a pen. His purpose is to make egg. But in this situation, the person that has intelligence over here does not control his brain, but rather the programmer. The programmer is humongous. If you think that can continue, then this person, the programmer's brain, is controlled by another humongous, and so on. Then this never worked because you have infinitely many humongous. So that's what we call humongous problem, all right? And it's not correct. And in order to get intelligence, real intelligence, we must change that current practice in AI. Once the AI is in the Great Leap Forward, and Great Leap Forward is a movement in the 1957 in China, launched by the Chinese government, and the purpose is to overtake United States and the UK in iron production and other superficial metrics. Right now, this diagram shows that AI is in Great Leap Forward, and the label of AI is on every system where each system is cheating, basically generating false data. In this particular case, generate false data, all right? And we have some journal and pop magazine papers that discuss this issue. And the Great Leap Forward in China and the Great Leap Forward in AI are basically the same, based on gross fabricated data. So AI is in a very bad situation, all right? And this damage has penetrated into what is called Nobel Prizes and alleged here that the Nobel Prize in Physics 2024 and the Nobel Prize in Chemistry 2024 was based on false data. Why even Nobel Prize was contaminated by fraud? Because consciousness is very, very challenging issue. And over here we said that consciousness is not handcrafted, not in the gene, but rather is learned. So we call the conscious learning algorithm. And this group, with all collaborators, designed and experimented with the first conscious learning algorithm, and since 2022. And I give a picture why conscious learning is challenging. The brain is like an elephant, and each discipline is like a brand man. Over here, each discipline is biology, neuroscience, psychology, electrical engineering, computer science, mathematics, and maybe physics and mechanical engineering. Because each discipline only investigates a small piece of the elephant. And because the local small scale investigation and the picture that was in the mind of the discipline is piecemeal. All right, it's partial, but does not give you a correct understanding of the entire brain. All right, in order to understand the entire picture of the brain, how it works, we need a holistic solution for $20 million problems. And there are papers that I wrote that discuss these $20 million problems. In other words, each problem requires roughly over a $1 million investment. All right. And this algorithm is implementable and testable. And many people have not learned this algorithm yet. But if you read this algorithm, this is like gene algorithm, right? It did not tell you how it works and how the gene control the cells in the brain and how cells brain form the brain, and it works so that the human brain looks like intelligent and why human looks like a human. I'd like to mention is that in order to do conscious learning, we need a body. Body in the sense that we need a robot body. All right, human has a human body, and a conscious learning robots need a robot body. But current neural networks, many neural networks do not use body at all. I'd like to mention the BMI degree enhancement program because the summer school is a requirement for entering this program. The goal is to train future leaders in conscious learning disciplines. All right, could be AI, could be industry, could be a government positions. And you enroll in a degree program of a higher education. For example, that could be one of my colleagues mentioned that his child is admitted to a program in Princeton University. But any university in the world is okay after approval from BMI, all right? Then after that, you apply for admission to BMI degree enhancement program. And after that, we work with you interactively. You as a BMI scholar, and a BMI will treat 3 classes of courses differently. And they must be first passed by BMI, all right? BMI pass means that a certain degree of scores. For example, suppose total score is 4, and if you just pass 1.0 out of 4, it's not BMI pass. All right, we need to specify a particular score in order to have a BMI pass. Typically, it will be higher than your home institution. And if it's exclusive or new to the BMI required it, and your program does not require it, BMI will cover 90% of tuition, and you only cover 10%. And for the BMI shared program, in other words, BMI has this recommended, and your program also has it, then BMI cover 45% of tuition, right? And for the other remaining ones that BMI does not require, and your program has it, and BMI is happy to cover 10% of tuition. So your program can have as a final goal to give you a bachelor degree, a master degree, or PhD degree. All right. So in other words, that BMI enhance your program so that you, after you get a degree, you are better prepared for the AI research. Thank you very much for your attention. Please feel free to ask questions. All right, if you have a question, you can type in to the chat room, or you can just ask for unmute, and you can ask verbally. All right, the question. I have two boys, one mechanical engineer and the other biology in university in Texas. Are they suitable? Yes, because our BMI degree enhancement program is for disciplining future, all right, of future AI discipline. It could be industry, could be university, could be any government jobs. And mechanical engineering is highly related. All right. I did not list mechanical engineering in the elephant and blind man picture, but mechanical engineering is related. And in fact, any discipline, all right, any discipline, because BMI is able to provide you additional suggested courses and you can take. And of course, we have not published all the detail of the program yet, but we are happy to provide some initial programs, and we'll ask the parents and the students for input, and so that the program will be suitable for as many as candidates as possible. Okay, the following question, what about the accommodation while they are on the program in Michigan? All right, this is a good question. Suppose, and I have a student contact me that he is admitted in the Princeton University, and later on probably will choose another university is okay. So that university is not in Michigan, and so BMI, I guess that does not have to be in the same state because our BMI scholar can be in other countries, like in India and could be in even China, or like South America, all right, like Brazil, no problem. So will not be physically co-located, and we communicate through email, and sometimes we'll use Zoom for interacting with some questions. And what we plan to do is that BMI might require the candidate to take some courses that's only offered in the BMI. All right, give example, BMI has a BMI 871, and there's no such kind of course of BMI 871 that covered computational brain, all right, computational brain and the mind. There's no such kind of courses, regardless of what university you are enrolled in, all right, in Texas or in other state. And but these kind of courses are currently not many, all right, and we might offer it to your child, and if he takes it or she takes it, and then if he passed according to BMS standard, and we probably will be able to cover 90% of tuition, and the parents, and you probably take 10% of tuition. So that's kind of for incentives, because you probably think about, oh, we are not in Michigan, and how do we do it? So the BMI 871 will be offered through internet. It's a remote, and it has a video as a lecture, and it has exercise and questions and exams. They are all administered through internet, and so distance is not a big problem. And for other courses, BMI shared, or that typically mean that it's offered in your original university. Suppose that you have a university in Texas, all right, and we'll identify some courses that's shared between BMI program and Texas. And if you take those programs in the Texas, then your child will be taken at the same institution in Texas.
Dr. Wang, can I cut you off for a second? I think they may be asking about the accommodation specifically for the summer school this July, what the accommodations will look like for that.
All right. So, so for accommodation for the summer schools, um, thank you. Um, we the summer school currently, unless there is a huge demand on remote participation, and we ask you, hopefully, with your child, come to MSU, and we will have accommodation available. There are a list of accommodations. If you search for Brain Mind Institute, if you see that the location is, there are two actually Brain Mind Institute, but if it's Brain-Mind, there is only one. And it will be in East Lansing, Michigan. And if you look at accommodation in the past program, we listed quite a few accommodation available. And there are some inexpensive accommodations. It's called Graduate Center, is Orient Center. And you can contact the center, and it's a, if I remember correctly, it's a graduate accommodation, and mostly two people stay in the same room because students already left MSU during the summer, and those grad students left the MSU for the summer, and the MSU will be able to rent this accommodation to BMI participants. And if I remember that this accommodation is not expensive, but if you stay with your child, this is the third question, I think that they allowed it because you said that we are, you want to say that we are the participants, all right? Because especially if your child is a high school student and have not, legally you are still guardians, but I don't think that you have to really only justify you as a parents, because we also welcome parents to participate in the BMI. If you are a parent and your participation is free, all right? And if you have a child registered in the BMI and your participation is like your hobby, and if even you are retired, it's okay. And you participate in the BMI, if you participate as a parent and you do not need a certificate, then you just enjoy your academic time, your learning time, and you don't need to take any exams. But if you want to take a certificate, in case you like, and you need to do the homework and pass the exams. And the exams were designed for people without specific knowledge, for example, in mathematics, very much. So it should be okay. I encourage you come with your child, all right? One or two or how many, doesn't matter. Even your neighbors, even your neighbors' parents, and they are busy during the summer, and they ask you to take their child as long as they give you authority to supervise their child, it's okay too. But if you want to stay at the more expensive places, that's okay too. And we have a 5-star or 4-star accommodation. If I remember, it's called the Marriott um, in the East Lansing area, not far away, and it's a pretty near actually. Uh, the graduate housing is very close, all right, just walking distance. If I remember, it's about 5 minutes walking.
Okay. Do we have any more questions?
All right, the next question. Thank you. How will learning computational conscious and if the participant wish to take it further, they will have to take courses through their college in Texas and some of in person with you? Very good question. In fact, in the announcement of the summer school, we provide opportunity. If you have the first is introduction, summer school is introduction, and later on, your child or yourself, if you pass the summer school, will be able to uh, interact with the summer school host, which is the Brain Mind Institute, and we offer part-time employment, full-time employment, and also possibly um, other opportunities. And we offered specifically, we mentioned the two. One is the summer part-time internship. And suppose that your child is doing undergrad degree in Texas or in another state, um, and he might not be fully available in the summer. All right, maybe you want to take your child for a trip, some other places. He would not be able to attend full time, but it's okay. And if he's interested in part-time employment in the summer, and we are happy to accommodate. So that provides him a more intense interaction, prepare him for the career in intelligence research. And does not have to be really AI. AI is one of the popular directions, but could be like even neuroscience and psychology and other subjects, because I believe I worked with people in neuroscience and psychology and mathematics. They all think that AI is very useful for their discipline. All right, not just engineering, not just electrical engineering, not just computer science.
So it sounds like, from what you're saying, Doctor, that they just have to be here in East Lansing for the summer school, and the rest of the enhancement degree they could just do completely while at university in Texas.
That's correct. Only the summer school and we have a 5 day program, and if you want to stay for the weekend and we visit some places, give example that we probably has a Ford center, and it's very informative for participants to visit. It has because Michigan is a state of automobiles, and all three major automobile industry have a headquarters in Michigan. And we plan to visit some places during Saturday and Sunday. You're welcome to join. And but if you want to visit other places, starting from Michigan, East Lansing, that's okay too. So the 5 day lectures, you stay in Michigan and East Lansing, and during weekend you can go anywhere else, either joining our program or you are on your own.
And
But
then,
other days, all right, other programs like internship, employment, and that could be done at your home state or your home country.
and Badal asked, how will learning computational conscious learning impact my career path compared to standard deep learning and LLM engineering?
Now, that's very typical, all right. I worked with many scholars that they are doing deep learning, all right, and I contact them and tell them that what you are doing, and not just you, almost every other people in AI is doing misconduct. And he said, John, everybody is doing that. So he implied that that I read something that's a common, all right, misconduct. They don't call it misconduct because they don't want to say they spent like 50 years, on misconduct. But it's difficult. AI is difficult, and as the diagram I said that um, we have blind men, all right, entire discipline, not yourself, all right. If you learned large language model (LLM) and even wrote paper about it, and if you did post selection, and I know that almost everybody who did machine learning, all right, other than our group, all right, was doing post selection because the local minima problem has not been solved, basically. Um, and depending on your past experience, even you tried multiple systems, like you tried multiple lottery tickets, and you only report the luckiest lottery ticket as your system, it's a misconduct because you must report average performance of all lottery tickets you tried. All right, you must report at least the average in order to be acceptable in engineering. All right, in mathematics, in psychology. All right, and in neuroscience, and everybody knows that. But in AI, many people are not well trained. All right, and even those are well trained in mathematics, they did not notice it. So don't feel bad about it, but you will be able to save your life. I would say save your life if you don't come to a BMI, if you do not learn how we resolve the local minima problem, you probably end up with wasting next 30 years or over 30 years on misconduct. All right, and you thought that you're doing AI and you get paid, and but you are not really helping AI in a ethical sense. You are misleading all other people basically, and suppose you get paid from your employer, and you are wasting your employer's time. If you are paid by government, and you are wasting taxpayers' time. So, but I do not intend to really pick on anybody. All right, and I'm going to attend a conference, and I intend to invite the person who said that John, everybody's doing that. I intend to invite him to a dinner and try to communicate well with him so that we will move ahead together. And it's not productive to pick on the past behavior, but rather look into future.
Dr. Wang, it looks like Battle has asked, what are the criteria for travel grants and scholarships mentioned on the site for summer school?
Good question. We are in the process working out the travel grant because some people probably um, does not have parents and family with a high income, and we will have a summer school scholarship. It basically will cover your travel, and the current application has something that you can fill in whether you like to apply for the BMI scholarship for the summer school. And that will most often, if you're granted, the travel grant that will cover your airplane, round trip, economy, and if you need, we probably can cover also housing. And the housing, um, I'd like to, because in the morning session we have some people that ask about do you still see the program, the screen? All right, this is the BMI school, and 2019, you click program, all right, then you click latest one. Let me see. This is a 2021, and 19 also in the past, all right. Then we have Owen Graduate Center, and we have other housing options. And Owen Center probably is the least expensive one, and we will cover your um, Owen Graduate Center housing if your scholarship include housing. Your application need to specify your need for financial support so that your admission will include that information. It's both scholarship based on merit and based on need, all right? And it has both component. I'll give example, the GPA in your transcript and your family income. If you enter that information, that might be useful for your application.
We have another question, Professor. What will the structure of the summer school look like?
We are still working on the program because this is the first time. If you look at the our past program, take a look. They are different. They have summer schools, and summer school offer courses like BMI 331, BMI 860, BM 871, and that's a summer school. And right now, our current one is shorter. Before, it was longer. It was 3 week. Each course is 3 week, and our current situation is like overview, and it will cover only 1 week. All right. It's different because over there we did not talk about conscious learning because at that time the model is DN2. Right? DN2 is not able to do conscious learning, and DN3 is able to. So we are moving forward. All right. The first group in the world who is ready to deal with the challenging issue of consciousness and the learning of consciousness. And what I intend to cover is let me review the diagram. I intend to give an overview of the disciplines. If I am successful, it depends on the progress, and I will cover one discipline in each morning. In the afternoon, we would do exercise and the reading. And Friday will be exam, all right? So I plan currently that we have a 6 discipline to cover, and I don't think I will cover mathematics a lot, but I probably just review a little bit of probability, discrete part, but not continuous part. And then I'll talk about what a brain can do. And we'll take a little bit about what the cell can do. Give example, the cell cannot do something like we talk about like a C program. Right? C program is not what a brain neuron can do. All right. Why? All right. And what we learn about neuroscience and what we learn about psychology. Psychology is mainly the behavior part, all right? People in neuroscience do not understand biology and neuroscience very much. And a neuroscientist told me that, John, brain problem is not my problem. that's a neuropsychologist, all right? And we talk about a little bit the system theory, and we talk about a little bit about the concept in computer science, all right, and like coding machine. And so hopefully we'll each day will cover one discipline, and that's very very important to motivate you. Whether AI is something that you like to devote your life on.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Wang. Badal has another question. He's asking, what do the registration fees cover? Are the housing at Michigan State University and meals included, or must those be arranged independently if you do not receive scholarship?
The admission is only for the tuition. And the mission is admit you to enter the BMI school. So basically, it's like you admitted to a university. You treat the BMI as a university. So you entered it. Then once you enter the university, in this case BMI, then you are responsible for tuition, and you're responsible for housing and a meal, all right? And if you have for this case, if you have a scholarship, and a scholarship will tell you what part is included. And in general, if you're admitted to the BMI summer school, and you will pay tuition, and you will pay housing, transportation, and a meal. That's what I guess that's regular for a university. But if you have a scholarship, then the coverage may include part of your other expenses other than tuition. And tuition is listed in the program. So look it up. If you have a question, let me know. We do have a table about the tuition for the summer school. And the summer school, we have two dates. Pre-registration tuition is lower. And after that pre-registration deadline, and the tuition will be a little bit higher.
Um, okay. We have another question. What are the potential benefits of attending this summer school?
Good question. Because everybody has different background, right? And I suppose that if I'm a AI researcher, right? Give example, suppose I am uh, Jeffrey Hinton, and I hope that Jeffrey Hinton can be here, all right? Because Jeffrey Hinton told me in his V blog said that he did not learn linear algebra very well, and so that's something that probably he can improve. And he will understand why AlexNet does post selection and why the performance he reported was totally false, all right, grossly false, all right. And if another researcher, Dr. Hassabis, all right, he had a prediction of the protein structure, all right, and that was cited in his paper, but that paper's performance was totally false, all right, totally false, grossly false again, all right, and that's like a great leap forward, all right, great leap forward, and and based on data, the data at least 10 times more than the fact, but at that time, the forced production per unit area is is totally inflated, but the people fabricating the data was aware of the fabrication. But in this case, I'm not sure that Jeffrey Hinton and Hassabis really understand it. I'm not sure because I wrote to them and many letters teach them why they did is wrong, but they never replied it directly. All right, Jeffrey Hinton replied it, and in his peer site, and he replied, if those who are interested, take a look. So attending summer school will educate those AI researchers. This is the first group. Second group, suppose I'm a grad student, right? And if I attended BMI summer school, and I will better orient my career, all right? Do you want to spend your life in a career that end up with fraud? Do you want that? All right. And if you work for the employer and you cheat your employer, and your employers will go down and go out of business. If you work for government and you cheat government and you waste the taxpayers' money, and by the end of like 30 years, and this story gets out, and everybody knows that, just like Great Leap Forward, then now everybody knows that Great Leap Forward is totally false. All right, it's a human nature. Right now, the same thing. AI performance is totally false, grossly false. All right, not just small. All right, you are talking about hundreds of times of fabrication. So in other words, that protein folding, the accuracy claimed by Hassabis and his colleague, all right, at least my guess is about 10 to 100 times. So their structure is totally random, but their luck does not translate into the future proteins. All right, I'll repeat again. The prediction of the luckiest system on the protein 3D structure is not translated to the future protein. All right, if you give them another set of proteins, their system will perform miserably, more or less random. All right, that's my prediction because I did not have access to their real structure. But according to the understanding of theory and the methodology, it's a cheating. All right, and if you're a grad student, do you want that? All right. Suppose you're at the third group. So you are an entrepreneur. You want to establish your company. All right. You build AI company. Do you want to use the deep learning technique right now, like OpenAI is doing, and you go out of business? All right. AI is not making money yet. It attract investment. They do. All right. But the investment will go down, all right? Because it's based on false data. Suppose I'm the fourth group, I'm the government officials, all right? Suppose I'm a program director of National Science Foundation, all right? And do I want to support AI that is based on fabrication? No, I don't, all right? So whether you are a government official, you are investors, or you are a researcher, or you are a student, you want to make sure that you go through the examination of AI, like what we offered in the BMI summer school, and learn it. All right, learn our current way and conscious learning. First of all, you must eliminate local minima problem. But in order to eliminate local minima problem that post-selection uses, I try to get around of it, right? It did not solve the local minima problem. It just used a misconduct to cheat you. Then in order to resolve that problem, you need to solve $20 million problems. So that's exciting. All right, we have a solution to the $20 million problems. You want to know what they are? We will cover a little bit. All right, just touch the surface, scratch the surface of this exciting discovery.
Okay. Thank you, Doctor. If we don't have any more questions, okay, we've got another one from Badal. Do we require any exams like English tests, SAT, or GRE for the selection at summer school? Do we also receive the visa letter from the summer school once I get selected? And is there a fully remote slash hybrid track available for international students who face visa delays for traveling to East Lansing, Michigan?
Thank you for asking this question, and I did not really, we have not addressed this issue yet. So if you have English test, all right, if suppose I'm in a country where English is not the native language, then if you submit your English test, that may help you, all right? If your home country use English, all right, then it's not an issue. But there are some countries that the university teaching or school teaching already using English, then if you provide this information and with a proof that that will help you. But if your English is really rusty and you want to show that you should be able to attend our lectures, all right, lectures, because our lecture uses English, all right. So you want to provide the evidence, and we try to work with you, basically, all right. We hope that language barrier is not a number one issue for you, and but we ask you to supply transcripts. That transcript is mainly your school performance, the scores. All right, we look for student with high GPAs, basically highly motivated students. We do not mean that high GPA is equal to motivation. No, all right. Often it doesn't, all right. So if you provide other information, suppose that you write something like you want to submit something like statement of purpose that says, oh, I want to be a star in AI research or my in AI career, and that's a positive sign. But our requirement currently does not really specify too much. But if you submit something that you submit to your university admission, and that's a good package, all right? But suppose the question said that suppose my visa is delayed. All right. Unfortunately, U.S. visa, you probably know, and it's difficult to come by because the current situation, and we will try to work with you if you can provide enough information, and we will see whether we can allow you to attend our summer school remotely. And but currently, we expect that everybody will show up on site because we have a discussion in the interactive sessions, mainly in discussion in the morning and discussion in the afternoon, homework in the afternoon, reading that afternoon, and interaction is very, very important. And we hope that everybody will be on site. All right. But if somebody did his best and his visa was denied, and we will see what we can do. At this point, we do not have a virtual Zoom session prepared, not yet. All right.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Wang. So it looks like we don't have any more questions as of right now. So if it's okay with our participants, we can conclude the meeting. So thank you so much, Dr. Wang, for answering the questions and your great explanation of the summer school.
Thank you very much for attending, and thank very much for the questions, and that really clarifies some issues that we have not addressed it yet.
Perfect. Well, once again, thank you so much, Dr. Wang, and we look forward to seeing everyone this summer.
Thank you. Look forward to see more people attending our summer school.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.